And we go further. Why is my screen not going further? Yeah, it can leave you all confused. And I want to know, in the curriculum planning, does a lot of terminologies and philosophies confuse you people as educators? Is it like you do not know what to pick up, what kind of philosophy to pick up? It's like whether we do Maria Montessori, whether we do Reggio Emilia, whether we do Howard Gardner's 9 Intelligences. Is that something that all you also think about, or you don't think about it? The chat box is active. Okay, I don't have too many answers. I don't see answers there. Yes, somebody said yes. Anusha, she said yes, we do face this. All right. So what is curriculum planning or curriculum all about? Let's discuss on that today. And let me give you some very easy and very simple pointers which you can use to design the curriculum in your school, in a preschool, as well as till the foundation stage, that is till grade 2. Okay.
Kriti ma'am, I'll just take a minute. Teachers, if any one of your friends is not able to join, we've gone live on YouTube. Just go on YouTube, type Madhuban Educational Books, and the meeting is being streamed live on YouTube. Yeah, thank you so much, ma'am.
All right, not a problem. Again, somebody has raised a hand. So, of course, if you can, if you're joined by the audio, you can unmute and talk, or else you please put it in the chat. So if somebody's raising a hand, then we'll have to take that.
Ma'am, if there's any question, I'm here. I'll take it up.
Okay, fine. Then Himani, whenever you get a question, you can just interrupt me. Okay.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay. So what is a curriculum? So that's the definition that you see on the screen right now. Curriculum is a standard-based sequence of planned experiences. Now, the important word here is experiences. It is not planned curriculum as per subject or syllabus or what you should be doing in different subjects. It's experiences where students practice and achieve proficiency in content and apply their learning skills. Okay, so it is something that in early years you have to be very, very careful about, is that you're giving some experiences to the children through which they are developing their skills and they're learning. And in early childhood education, play is the most important part of the curriculum. So curriculum for young children is physical and it is relational. Can they relate it to something? So if you're doing a concept and a child is unable to relate it to anything at all in his world, in his real life or experiences, it's a waste, because then it becomes an abstract concept. Like it becomes a concept of like, I will be telling you something that is very, very, it's happening in China and something is that is pertinent to that country. You'll say, what will I do of that? It doesn't come to any use or to me. And maybe we all felt that when we were getting educated, because in our times, there was no relational that we could form in our studies, where we can actually say, ki, yeah, whatever we studied actually was helpful for us, right? So here you have to make sure that the curriculum that you plan for the children is actually physical. Why? Because they learn by doing. And it should be relational, because until and unless they relate it to something that they already know, they experience, or it is something with their real life, they cannot understand it. Okay. So how will that happen? How do you know what the experiences of the children are and what do they relate to? Because you have to have a very strong partnership with the parents and the families of the children for doing that, right? So curriculum cannot be made in silos in the class itself or in the school itself. Now let's see, how many of you knew this, that the curriculum should be based upon the key developmental indicators. Indicators are like developmental milestones. Now, key indicators, when I say, how many of them are there? How many skills in preschool do we actually cater to? You see the red text, 58 skills, which are organized under 6 content areas. And until now, people and parents And schools and teachers used to think preschool is nothing but learning ABCD, 1, 2, 3, 4, rhymes, colors, shapes, names of fruits and vegetables, and names of animals. If we could achieve that much, that's preschool, where the children go to have fun, where the parents send them for 3 hours because they're tired of them, and then they can have some me time. So any one of you who have come across these kind of definitions for preschools? Preschool में क्या है? ABCD तो कराना है. ABCD 1, 2, 3, 4 घर पे भी करा सकते हैं. Rhymes हैं, YouTube पे भी दिखा सकते हैं. You can do that also, right? Isn't it? All parents believe that. Most of the people in the world believe that. I'll tell you, I was inducting a school principal right now for my organization. Now, the school principal is mandatory to know about the early childhood curriculum also, because they're looking after K-12 schools. So not only the senior secondary, also the pre-primary. Now, when I'm inducting them and I'm telling them about early childhood education, this gentleman there is laughing at me. And he's saying, what are you saying? Kya curriculum preschool mein karaoge? What will a 3-year-old do? I said, Arey, I'm talking about the foundation. The brain is developing. You don't know about it. And he was still laughing. He still didn't get it. Because according to him, what matters is the board examinations. What matters to him is the middle school, senior school, and the senior secondary school. So he was not bothered. But how do I explain it to him that there are 58 skills that we are catering to in the early years between the age group of 2 to 6 years old? So do any one of you who agrees to that? You know that there are 58 skills. Did you know this beforehand?
Yes. Even for a long time, we would have thought ABCD ही पढ़ाना है.
हाँ, ABCD पढ़ाना भाई. ABCD 1, 2, 3, 4 आ जाएगा. 2-4 nursery rhyme, twinkle, twinkle, Jack and Jill वगैरह आता है बच्चे को, which the parents very proudly present to them when they are guests at home or the grandparents come. Beta rhymes now, and the beta starts rhymes. See, rhymes आते हैं. So ABCD आता है, पूरा बोल के दिखाओ, A to Z आता है. Very good. 1 to 10 सुना तो हो गया. So you know those are rote learning. Do you know that they do not develop skills in children except for the memory skills? Now that is a passé. NEP and NCF says कि rote learning करानी नहीं है. तो अब क्या कराओगे? बोलो. Tell me, what will you do now? Anyone who has any answers?
That is where actually everybody is lost at this point. कि अगर ये नहीं करवाना तो करवाना क्या है?
बिल्कुल, वही GPS नहीं है हमारे पास. अब GPS गाड़ी के लिए है, ऑटो के लिए है, चलने के लिए भी है. There's a walking thing also. If you want to walk also, GPS will help you. But if you want to educate these young children, there's no GPS. That GPS is only your curriculum. And then when you are planning your curriculum, you have to be extremely sure of what you are doing. And to know that, you have to have the knowledge about this. This workshop is just going to give you a gist of it. So that is thanks to Madhuban and the foundations and Himani here, who has organized this for you. But then you will have to do an in-depth research on your own. You'll have to understand what curriculum is all about and what are these 58 skills. Because if I go into that, then gaye 2 ghante. I cannot tell you that all that here, right? So now these are questions for you. Anyone who has paper pen can write them down. You can take a picture, because these are the questions for all of you. You have to know the answers to all of this. First and foremost is preschool, the right term for your early childhood learning centers. हम preschool बोलते हैं. Preschool मतलब school के पहले, right? But then what is that? That we're preparing them for school, right? We're preparing them for grade 1, for the formal schooling, for the primary school. So is it that the right term? Do you agree? Or are we preparing them for life? Or are we building the skills that they need to build right now, which is going to be helpful throughout their life?
Teachers, I'm waiting in the chat box. You can put in your answers. We'll quickly discuss them. You
Yeah.
have the questions in front of you. Let's put some answers in the chat box.
You can put the question answers. If you have the answers, please put them.
It's the foundation course, building foundation.
Okay.
Laying the strong foundation. Okay, we can drop the foundation. Something beyond that.
I know.
Okay, they're still thinking.
Think. So do you think early childhood theorists can actually help you? Can Maria Montessori or Lev-Vygotsky or Frederick Froebel come and help you out? Howard Gardner? Any of these theorists that you were following in your school? If you are, then you would know whether they're helping you or not. You can answer that also. I have more questions. ये क्या है भाई? Questions तो है हमारे पास. Why is ma'am not answering? ये कैसा workshop है? We came with the questions. We want answers. And here you are asking us questions. But these questions are the ones that I want you to ask.
These are, yes, it's the base of learning. Social development helps them to socialize, improve talking.
Okay. And what will you do with a child who's not talking? There are children, come to the play school and then the entire year they don't talk. They go to nursery, the parents come to me and they say, they don't say a word. They don't even tell me what happened in school. Or they don't even sing any nursery rhyme. What do we do? Because they're not talking. Then what do we do?
Learn gross motor skills to build overall development.
Okay.
See, teachers, this is what is needed. Engage in activities. Kindergarten is a better term, I believe.
Yeah, very good.
See, this is what you have to encourage in class also, thinking.
Yes, all these questions are for you people, because when you are going to ignite the curiosity of the children, when you start your lesson, when you go to the class, it should not be only about answers. I think that's a very bad teacher who can give all the answers right at the very go, because aapne answer de diya, bacche ne nahi socha. Like right now, I can give you the answers, you will not think for yourself. I want you all to think for yourself first. And then you answer me. And so I will know where are you at the beginning stage? Where is your beginning stage for curriculum planning? Like, for example, for your children, if you're introducing the topic of animals, you will have to ask them, what do they already know about animals? And then start. What if you tell them something that they already know? They'll get bored. They'll say, ye to pata hai main. Then what will you do? And how will you plan your lesson? Because you don't know where the children are coming from. What is the beginning point? When should a child begin reading? Any answers to that?
By the age of 8 years.
8 years, okay. And when should a child begin writing with pencil?
I think a lot of teachers will say 3 years.
Let's see what they say.
3.
3, okay.
5.
5, okay. Reading at 8, writing at 3 is what right now I have, the beginning points. Okay. So if writing is at 3, should it be cursive, print, capital, small? What?
In nursery at the age of 4 years. 3 plus 3 to 5, 5. Should it be cursive or print? Capital.
Or small? There are 4.
They're saying capitals.
Why?
Why capital? Okay, let's quickly see. Why capital?
Why capitals?
There's someone saying small. And learning patterns. Both. Okay, teachers, we know capital and both. Why capitals? A lot of you have said they're easy patterns. I'm saying they're easy patterns.
They're easy patterns. Okay, capitals, because we start with the patterns of standing line, sleeping line, mountain patterns and everything. So it's easier for them to go to from standing, sleeping to making the letters out of them, right? Is that the theory?
Yes.
Okay, it's wrong. Okay, it's wrong. Have you seen a child doodling at the age of 2, 1.5, 2?
Yes.
Okay. Do they draw a straight line? No. What do? They make circular patterns, isn't it? Small letters have what?
Scribbling only their own
circular patterns, isn't it? A, B, all have circular patterns, S, everything, right? Now, why are you asking them to make lines? Making a line is very difficult. You have to have a damn good fine motor skill, and you have to have a very good developed eye-hand coordination to draw a straight line. When I was in school and we had an art class, there used to be children who used to say, "Hum drawing kaise karenge? Hame to seedhi line banani bhi nahi aati. We can't draw a straight line." So that means we can't draw. Right or wrong? Wrong. But you can't draw a straight line. Why we can't draw a straight line? It's very difficult. Try it if you have a paper right now with you. Try to draw a straight line and see how far can you go. That line becomes all crooked, crooked, crooked. Small letters in print is what the children are seeing all around them and in books. Do they see all letters in capitals when they are reading up any kind of a text? Any text means anything, whether it's a banner, it's on television, it is in gadgets, even it is in phone, anything wherever they see, do they see all capitals? Do they type in all capitals? Do they see books in all capitals, story books or anything in all capitals?
Everybody says no.
No. Then फिर reading कैसे होगी? They have to know the small letters first. Their hand is made up for circular patterns first. That's the doodling stage. So you should always begin writing from small letters. And 3 years is not the age to write with a pencil. 3 years is the age to just explore and develop fine motor skills. So that's sandpaper alphabets, there's sand writing, there is chalk writing, there are the 3-sided jumbo crayons that they should be using to make patterns also if you're doing patterns. Okay, and writing should begin in junior KG or at the age of 4.5 years old when they are ready to hold the pencil. And that should be for small letters in print, which they identify with. That is a scientific research. Don't say Smriti ma'am was saying this. Okay. Children are natural learners. Do you all agree to that? Children are natural learners?
Yes.
Yes.
A lot of yeses.
Yeah, a lot of yes. Okay. Why do you say that? How do you know they're natural learners? कैसे पता?
How do you say it? Just because you listen, they learn from surrounding, they explore, they learn by observing the parents, they learn from surroundings, they listen and act. What they explore.
So what do? They imbibe everything that's around them, right? So that is why they're learning. So the learning is happening every time. So when does learning start? When does learning start? Now they're natural learners. Now you all agreed to that. And you know how and why also. When does learning start?
When does?
Bolo, when does learning start?
In the womb.
Who said in the womb?
Miss Neha Anand.
Miss Neha Anand, very good. Pat yourself on the back.
Navya Sharma also, since birth. Oh my God, they're writing so fast, I'm losing track of time.
It's okay, it's okay. It's a good thing. I want them to be interactive. Like, write all on the chat box. I don't want you to be passive learners. I hate it. For children, for a classroom, for teachers, it's the worst thing to be passive learners. So keep writing and keep telling your...
Not only Smriti ma'am here, I have 2 chat boxes, YouTube and Zoom, and they're running like anything.
Very good. Excellent. YouTube, I'm going to see later. I'm going to try to answer your questions there also. I'm going to see it and check it out. So they're natural learners. And yes, learning starts from the womb. And we knew this way before the Western countries knew it, because we had something called the Garbh Sanskar. When we tell the mother what to eat, what to see, what to think about, what kind of books to read, what kind of music to listen to, because bacche pe asar ho raha hai. What is that asar? What is that? What effect that the child is having when it is in the womb? It's learning.
Learning.
Exactly. And so by birth only, they are right from birth. So of course, the learning of the world starts. But learning begins right from the womb. Now the questions are what should they learn? When they should learn? How they should learn that? So we have to evaluate these questions. That, okay, now learning to starts and they will learn everything that's there in the environment. But then what should they learn? Should they learn everything that's in the environment? Sometimes environments are not very conducive. It's not very child friendly. Then they learn everything there also. So these are the questions to be considered. What should be learned? Okay. In these years, at what a particular time, right from birth till 6 years or 8 years, what should be learned? So that's the first question that you have to answer for yourself when you're doing a curriculum planning. Okay, what should be learned? Then it is, when should it be learned? So if there are parents who are coming and forcing you and telling you, "Arey, baju wala school ko dekho," they are making the children write two pages every day in nursery at 3 years old, and you are not doing it. So that means your school is faltu. That doesn't help. It is when it should be learned. It has to be age and developmentally appropriate. What does it mean to be age and developmentally appropriate? We're going to talk about that. Then you have to see that, okay, we have answered or we have listed down what should be learned. Okay, that where will you get that from? What should be learned? Any answers?
Then child starts understanding and can express. Activity-based learning.
Okay, but what should be learned? What? क्या सिखाएं बच्चों को? बोलो, what should be learned?
Think, people think. Basic manners and activities, good human behavior, age-appropriate content, to be social.
Okay, all this. Now, again, I am a very bad teacher. I'll again ask you, how do you know that?
What makes you feel it should be this?
It should be this. Aapko kaise pata chala that this should be learned? Your own thoughts? You think so? Isliye?
It is an ideal answer.
So cute. I love that answer. All right. So I'll tell you. So if you haven't, then I would show you at the end of the workshop also. There are curriculum frameworks and they are scientifically pediatrician approved, brain researched learning outcomes for each age group in months. They tell us that what and should be learned at what age. Okay, so if you just follow that, you'll not go wrong. So that is one thing. So you don't go by the gimmicks, don't go by what you've heard or what we know or what we do, because those things, being a good human being, behavior, social skills, everything will be learned naturally by the child in the environment that the child is. They will imitate the adults around them. And whatever the adults are doing, they will do the same. So that is their behavior pattern. That is the way they would understand how to socialize and how to think and what to behave like. All these things will be done there. What should be learned in curriculum? What should be learned that you as an educator should be imparting? You should be always be very careful about the developmental milestones and the learning outcomes that are listed down scientifically, well-researched by the scientists and the early years philosophers, that these are the things that they should be learning. Okay, that's the answer. Then when you know when it should be learned, I told you we'll do it developmental appropriate. What are the practices? Then it is how it is best learned. That will include your pedagogy. That should include your teaching methodology. That, okay, this methodology, if I follow this one in this pedagogy under this philosophy, and this approach, if I take this pedagogy and I use it in my class, I would be able to achieve what I set out to achieve, the goal that I had, what should be learned. Okay. Then fourth question is, how can we tell how well we have answered the above three questions? That is through observation and evaluation. So once you have the curriculum in place, when you're going to observe the children and you're going to evaluate their learning, you'll come to know whether you have been successful or not. So in early years, educators don't think the assessments and the observations are for the children alone. They're not for the children alone. It's for you also. How successful have you been as a teacher or as an educator? So if the child is not getting it, I recently read something and it was like, I don't know if you agree to it, thumbs up or yes in the chat box. Okay. So it was like that if you have told a child something 100 times, and if the child still does not understand, it is not the child's fault. Agree to it or no?
I have thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Yes,
yeah, yes. Because 100 times bhi kaise bataya jo bacche ko samajh nahi aaya? How have you explained to the child that the child is not understood in 100 times also? So that means you have to change, right? You have to change the way you're telling the child. So the child says that if I can't learn the way you teach me, then please teach me the way I can learn. So then you have to change your teaching. That means it's not working the way you are teaching. It's not working at all. So it's not the child who's at fault. It's you, because children are natural learners. You only said in the previous slide. My paas recording hai. Himani is recording the meeting. You said that they are learners. So that means they will learn. That means you are doing something wrong. Isn't it? So you'll have to introspect. Yeah. Now, here it is what is developmentally appropriate practices. So in a nutshell, don't read all of this. If you want to take a picture so you can refer to it later. Developmentally appropriate practices in a nutshell is something that the developmental milestone says that a child should be sitting at 8 months, crawling at 9 months, walking at 12 months, isn't it? And then there is a broad age, there's a broad limit that is given to it. There's a range that between the age group of like from 10 months to 15 months, the child should be walking. If it's not walking even at 15 or 16 months, then probably you need to seek help, right? So there is a range, and that is called developmentally appropriate. What is development? It is not measured like growth. Growth is physical. Then you measure the height and the weight of the child, that's a growth. But when you are actually talking about developmental practices, that means some practices that's helping the child to achieve their milestones. And the milestones always have a range. So in given range, if you are giving those practices which are age appropriate, then those are called developmentally appropriate practices. Not under the pressure of parents or school management or the competitive school that they are doing this, we'll also do this. No. Is it developmentally appropriate? You'll have to first research, find out.
Smriti ma'am, I have a question here. And this is a question that I normally get from a lot of parents and teachers.
Yeah.
They, like you said, that even for crawling and walking, there's an age group. But like you said, not only for the curriculum that's being taught in the school, even when the child begins crawling or walking or sitting, they compare it with their, peers. Uska bachcha to chalne lag gaya, mera to chala nahi. Mere ko doctor ke paas jana hai.
तो मैं बोलूंगी उसका फादर तो डॉक्टर बन गया, तुम बने नहीं, मेरे को तो पेरेंट ही चेंज करना है. तो फिर
correct, this is something
you are not intelligent enough. फला की मदर तो HR में VP है, तुम तो हो नहीं, that means you're not a good mother. See, if you compare children, no, tomorrow give the right to the children to compare you.
Very true.
Okay?
Very true.
It has to be a two-way process. You will compare the children and children will not compare you, not done. It's a parent and child relationship. It's an equal give and take. It's an equal caring and loving bond. It's a loving bond, which no one can break, and it's the best bond. Then if you are comparing your child, let the child compare you to other parents and tell you, hello, where all you have failed, what all you could not do, how successful or unsuccessful have you been. Ye sab bhi bolne ko do. Then I agree that you compare your child. Otherwise, don't. Simple. Because everybody has their own pace, everybody has their own brains, everybody has their own body. Abhi to fir Malaika looks whatever she looks at 47. I look like a panda at 50. Then you can't compare, na? You can't compare, right? So there's no comparison between two individuals. That's it. Individuals, when I say, I mean children, adults, teenagers, whoever. Human beings, two human beings cannot be compared. So don't stop comparing. There's a range. Know the range. As parents, as educators, as teachers, know the range. And like I told you, if a child is not walking by 16 months, also seek help, expert help. Show the child to a pediatrician, ask what is the reason, when it's going to happen, what can you do to make it happen, but don't compare it to some other child who started walking at 11 months and say, wow, वो तो 11 महीने में चलने लग गया था, ये इतना डफर है, 16 महीने में भी नहीं चल रहा. Don't do that. Sorry. Not acceptable. Right? Answered?
Yes, ma'am. This was a message I wanted to go to everybody.
Then give the chance to the child also to compare, na? Then say, and then why do you get worried when a child who's going to a particular school says, "मेरे को बस में नहीं जाना है, मेरा friend तो गाड़ी में आता है," then you buy a car and a driver for that child. Comparison, no? He's comparing the financial status of his parent with another financial status of the other parent.
And
Then
you've
why are you
taught him to do
comparing
that.
marks of the other child's and with your child? Everybody has their own capabilities and their own lifestyles and their own situations and their own mindsets. Don't. So, what best serves development in the long term? Think about that. Think about the things and the practices and the kind of experiences that you're giving to your child right now. As teachers or as parents, think about the long-term influence, effect, and what is it going to be for the child at that time. So see, growth is measured and it's biological, but development cannot be measured. It is something that is observed. And like the last line, just read it again, answering your question, individualistic for each child. No two children would be the same. In the same household also, they're not the same. So forget about the peer group and the class. So two children born out of the same parents are also not the same. So what you have to do, after you understand the basic developmental milestones and developmentally appropriate practices, and you know that at this age, the child should be doing this, they have to be learning this, the what is answered, the when is answered, the how is answered, then what do you do next? Then comes the part of curriculum planning. After all of this, once you know this, all these base, that's the foundation for you. So you use the word foundation very often, that we are building the foundation for the child. Early years is building the foundation of the child. 90% of the brain is developing right now. So the foundation for your curriculum is also, when you answer the earlier three, then you come to the philosophy. What is the philosophy? What is your philosophy of your curriculum, of your culture, of your school, of your surroundings, of your geographical placement? So that is what is your belief, what is your value system and your ethics. Now today in India, if I'm going to try to teach something that happens in America, the child is not going to an American school, right? So what is the belief system, values and ethics that you believe in? Base your curriculum on that. Then you will base your goals of the curriculum on that. Then your goals have to facilitate the love for learning. And that is how to learn. The children should learn what? They should learn how to learn rather than what to learn. That you will just not give them that, okay, these are the things that you are learning. You have to know that anything that I give them. How to learn means I give them something new also today, they will learn. So how to learn is a disposition. It is a mindset. It is an approach that I will learn whatever you teach me because I know how to learn. But if I give you what to learn, then I'll learn only that much as you're teaching me. Then tomorrow you teach me something new, I don't know how to do it. Goals of the curriculum is set, then you do unit plans. That is, you're going to have your teaching objectives and learning objectives with specific learning outcomes. What is the difference between an objective and an outcome? Chalo, batao. Again, question. Chat box.
Yeah.
Teaching objective, learning objective, and learning outcomes. What is the difference?
We've been talking about these terms a lot ever since NEP came out. Objective is what we set.
What is it? That is what I want to know. NCF says curricular goals. Then it says competencies. Then it says learning outcomes. This is in the document. You have heard it, you know it, you've read it. What is this?
Ma'am, Deepti ma'am says objective is what we set, outcome is what the child learns. Another Aditi ma'am says objective what teacher will teach and outcome what child learns. Objective what we give the child to learn. Pushpa ma'am.
Okay, fine. I get an idea of what you people are thinking. You're not far away from the truth. Let me tell you, you're on the right track. So what happens is when we set an objective, suppose I am doing a lesson on vehicles. Now I have set my teaching objective that I have to teach them about all the three modes of transport. That is land, air, and water. So that's my objective. I have to teach them. This my teaching objective is I want them to know about the modes of transport, right? My learning objectives would be broken down into that they would be able to do what? Understand land, water, air, transport, and the vehicles associated with it. Specific learning outcomes will be what? That when I'm doing road transport, the child would be able to identify the road transport and then also classify the road transports from public transport to private transport. Okay. And the child would be able to sort the road transports out from the water transport. All these will be my specific learning outcomes for each lesson plan. That means at the end of a particular lesson, I want the child to be able to do this. But my objective was a broad goal that I want them to know about transport. So you got the answer between the curricular goal in NCF. When you see it is the curricular goal is the broader goal. That is also aligned to Nipun goals. If you know about Nipun, you will know that they also have their goals. 3 goals are there. Anyone who knows 3 Nipun goals? Acha, test nahi, don't get worried. It's okay. You can read about it. So there are 3 goals and that is after the Nipun set the 3 goals, they came down to curricular goals of NCF. From those goals, they derived their competencies. What are competencies? Skills that the children should know. And to achieve those skills, the skill, the competency, to achieve those skills, what are the learning outcomes around which we should be planning our lessons? Is it clear? See, it's a technical thing. If it's not clear, ask questions right now. I'll pause.
Just rewrap your head around learning objectives, learning outcomes.
Yeah, this is very important for curriculum planning. And if you have any questions, ask right now.
Anyone, anything that comes to your mind, just put it up in the chat box.
Yeah, or anything that you've not understood. And if you've understood everything, then please clap for me. Because I was so clear, you understood everything.
खाली तो बनती है.
बिल्कुल बनती है भाई. अगर एक ही बार में सब समझ आ गया तो बस facilitator A1 है. That means खत्म. ठीक है?
I've got 3-4 ताली.
All right, let's go to the next one. Once we have done all of that, then comes the curriculum web. Now, web is something that you have to break your year, the entire year, into smaller themes for children to learn. And those themes are something that will go from known to unknown. That is something that's close to me. That is, what is closest to me? What is closest to you? Answer. What should be the first theme?
What should be the first theme? Yes.
What is closest to me? I say known to unknown. Known to unknown to sabne phrase suna hai na? From known, we go to unknown in early childhood. So when we know known, now so
myself. Hinal ma'am says myself. Hinal Shah.
Acha, myself. Okay. Anyone else who agrees with her?
Parents. Hetal ma'am says parents.
Parents are closest to us. Okay.
All about me.
All about me. Fine. All about me gets me going because all about me includes my parents, my home, my family, my school, my teacher, my neighborhood. But it will still begin from me, myself. That means first and foremost, I have to understand that, it's very important for children to understand at the age of play school that they're separate from other children. So there's one thing that is an identity, an autonomy, that the children have to understand that they're separate from the image that they see in the mirror, that they're separate from the other children, that not all children behave in the same manner. So I am myself. First and foremost is that realization. And from that will come to my body, my senses, my body parts, understanding all of that. Then comes my family, my parents who all live in the house. What is my house like? What is a house? All of those. So you're going to from known to unknown. So thematic will be starting from all about me first. Okay. Now, further on, we'll discuss about the thematic things. There are lots of things that we have a misconception on thematic webs. So we'll talk about that. Then once your themes are done, then you have, okay, fine. In this month, I'm going to do this theme. Then I'm going to do plants, and I'm going to do animals, and I'm going to do vehicles, and I'm going to do seasons, whatever. All these you have decided. Then comes the lesson plan that, okay, per day, what am I going to teach them or what am I going to deliver to the child? Okay. And along with the lesson plan will come your assessments. Now, there's a term that you see, this is written in lesson plan, progressive continuum in learning. Anyone who knows what this is?
Or even if you can guess what it would mean, contextually, if you can make out.
Just English words. If you just understand the meaning also, it will be fine. Progressive continuum in learning.
Anything, teachers, there's no right or wrong answer to this. Anything that comes to your mind.
There is no right or wrong answer to anything in the world. What is right for me is wrong for you. What is wrong for you is right for me.
Step by step, continuous learning process. Mala ma'am and Priyanka ma'am.
Okay.
Two answers.
Okay.
What else? Very close, teachers. Continuous learning process. Results kind of CC. Doing with learning. Continuous series of things and learning. Changes in character gradually.
Okay.
Interesting.
All right. Very interesting answers. Good. Very good. Well done. Now, as educators, you know what is our problem?
They will not say that.
You don't know that. You don't know. As educators, our problem is we think on very high terms. We have to make everything into a theory, an academic calendar, and we have to think much higher, much deeper than what is required. Now, let me tell you very easily what is a progressive continuum in learning. Okay? Example I'm giving you, you people have to frame your own things. So, progressive continuum means today I am doing a theme of animals. Now, how many of you have themes of animals in your schools? You teach about animals to children?
Yes.
You don't?
Yes.
Everybody does. Okay. There is somebody called Mr. Nihir who's raised a hand.
Yes. Should I unmute him?
Yeah, please do that.
Yeah, Nihir sir, you can unmute yourself. Yes. Okay, ma'am, probably by mistake.
Okay, probably by mistake. Fine, don't worry. Maybe he was trying to clap for me. Okay, so I'll give you. So everybody does animals. So do you do another question? Quick answers. We don't have so much of time. Imani is going to kill me for a long session. Tell me if you have animals in your team. Do you do it from play school to senior KG? Every year there's an animal theme, or do you do it only for 1 year?
Yes. Oh my God, this is going flooding. Yes.
अच्छा, हाँ, हम हर साल करते हैं. Don't even underestimate us. Every year we do it. Play school, nursery, junior, senior. We do it. Right. Good. Very good. I love you. Now, you do it every year. Now, let me tell you something. What is progressive continuum in learning? In play school, would you tell your children about amphibians? Abhi no आएगा yes के बाद.
Yes. Story related. अच्छा नहीं. No. Okay. Yes.
All right. Somebody is saying yes. Now,
yes, no.
Yes, no. Jisne yes bola, hats off to you. Okay. What happens is when we start from play school, we start with, like I said, known to unknown. What will be known? What I see at home, what I see around me. So those will be basically the common animals or the pet animals. And what will I do? I'm just going to identify those. So even if a 2-year-old is saying this is a dog, I'm happy about it, right? Or I will max to max, I'll take him to the sound of the animal because we'll have the audio being heard and we can talk to the child that the dog barks, bow, bow, bow. Or the cat meows, meow, meow, meow. I think in play school, we'll do that much. That is developmentally appropriate. If you're doing amphibians, and you must not be calling it amphibians, I'm sure you must be calling it water animals, then it's okay. But that is something that a child would not see. So go from known to unknown. That is one thing. In nursery, what the child will be doing is that they would be knowing about wild animals, farm animals, and pet animals. So there are 3 categories of animals that they would be knowing. Again, they would be identifying them and they would be categorizing them or sorting them that these are wild animals who live in the forest, these are farm animals who live in the farm, and these are pet animals who can live at home. So this much they would be doing. Maybe probably in some schools you must be doing more than that of that. Okay, the young ones also they do, but probably it is not required. Junior KG, they will be learning about their habitat, their food habits, their young ones, all of those. Okay, and their eating habits. So probably they would understand that which are the meat-eating animals, why do they live in the jungle, how do they hunt for food, all of those you will be learning. But in senior KG, you would be learning about these amphibians, reptiles, insects, arachnids, their invertebrates and invertebrates. What is a jellyfish? Who has a backbone, doesn't have? Which are the endangered animals? So do you see a progressive continuum in learning? I'm doing animals only. But from play school to senior KG, when I do the animals, the complexity increases, the learning increases, the facts increases, the understanding of an animal world increases. So that's progressive. But do you think if I'll be doing in junior KG, the habitat, young ones, and the food habits of an animal, I'll not ask them which animal is this? Will I ask them or no? Will they identify the animal or no? We'll just talk about, don't tell me this is a goat, it eats grass. Just remember that. ऐसा तो नहीं करेंगे कि करेंगे? Will you do that? I hope the answer is no. So the point is that we'll first go from, so whatever we have learned earlier in play school and nursery stays with us in junior KG. We identify the animals, we sort the animals into wild, farm and pet, and then we understand more about them. And then we go to senior KG, we understand more about their features and their built up and why do they live in, where do they live in. So you see, you have to tell them first, when you have identified the habitats and their eating habits, you've done that, you have to tell them why. See, why is a very big thing which the children have in their mind and nobody answers them. So you have to tell them, why do they live in the jungle? Why can't they live at home? Why can't a tiger live at home? So you have to tell them all of that. This will give them an analogy, they will give you an analysis, a critical thinking. When you are going to talk to them, you ask them these questions. You know, if you ask them these questions, you will get fabulous answers from them. They will give you very out of the box answers. Jot them all down. That is going to enhance your teaching, right? Don't just keep giving them answers. No, tiger can't live here. You know, tiger will live in the house. It will eat you, mummy, papa, everybody. It lives in the jungle. Don't do that. Ask them, no, why? Ask them why you don't bring a cow home and keep it. In some areas, they will. The most if you go to some remote places, they would say, yeah, cow lives with us in the house. So what, big deal? So you see, that will be there. Your philosophy comes. Where are you? What is your cultural background of the children that they're coming to? Then comes assessment, which are obviously continuous comprehensive evaluations, which are observation based and throughout. You can't give a test paper to a child. There are schools who are giving test papers to nursery and KG children, and they're marking them and they're grading them. Please, people who are actually right now attending this workshop, if you can stop it, please stop it. You cannot do that to a child. Why? Do you all agree we can't do that to a child?
They said, yes, we do. We do give marks and papers.
You know why you should not do that? Acha, tell me, why do you do that? Ye bata do. Chalo. Don't tell me why not. Tell me why. Kyun karte ho? Why do you give marks to the children? Why do you keep taking tests? I don't. I'll tell you why. If you do, tell me why.
Evaluation. For evaluation.
For evaluation, what are you evaluating?
Probably how much has a child learned, or what is the grading system is there to check the child what they have learned in 1 year.
Okay, that's your grading system, and you're evaluating the child on the basis of that the child goes to the next level or doesn't go, or goes anyway, whether they performed badly also. What do you do?
For motivation.
Grading for motivation. Let me grade you today on today's workshop. Let me see how motivated you will feel. Okay. No, but
To
tell me,
maintain
no.
records.
Answer me. Okay, you kept records. Now, if a child has performed very badly in any of the exams that you have given them or the grades that you have given them, you do not promote the child to the next level?
Goes anyways.
बताओ. इसको कहते हैं अमिताभ बच्चन बोलते थे लो कर लो बात. फिर क्यों कर रहे हो evaluation? Goes anyways. Then why are you doing it?
There's been one answer from one of the schools as I was visiting.
Yeah.
They said to keep parents on their toes. Otherwise, parents don't work with their children.
Why do you want parents to work with their children? Don't you work with your children? You're working in the school, na? Itna enough hai. Let them play.
There's
You
an
want
answer
parents also.
for assessing developmental milestones and helps a school to decide future academic policies.
Wow! Clap! Superb! Observe a child for an hour, you'll know everything about the child. You don't have to take tests and exams. I'll show you. Anyways. Any other answers, Himani?
It is something that parents ask for.
Parents will ask for the moon. You will go and get it, na? Parents will to say, भाई धीरू भाई अंबानी स्कूल में स्विमिंग कराते हैं, आप भी कराओ, तो आप कराने लग जाओगे. किधर कराओगे? Where will you do it? See, you cannot as educators give in to the pressure of the parents. I'll tell you why. When you feel sick, you go to a doctor, right? Yes, no?
Yes.
Yes, very good. And when you go to the doctor examines you. Then there's a diagnosis. Then there's a prescription. Does he give you a prescription for medicines?
Yes.
Okay. Have you ever thrown that prescription at the doctor and said, I don't want this, I want this medicine only? Kiya kabhi?
The other doctor is giving this medicine. Why are you not giving me that?
Have you done that?
No, everybody says no.
No. Next time you go to the doctor, he gives you the prescription, you fold the prescription, throw it at him and say, what nonsense? I don't want this medicine. I want this medicine only. I will take this medicine only because I want it. So the doctor will agree. The doctor will say, हाँ जाइए आप वही ले लीजिए, कोई बात नहीं. Will he agree? Or will he tell you, no, it's not good for you, ma'am, sir, you don't have to take this. This is your diagnosis. You'll have to take the medicine that I'm prescribing, isn't it? Or will he agree to you?
No, he'll confidently explain you why his medicines are better.
Or why you should have it, because it's for your own good. Because you've been diagnosed with fever, you'll have to take a paracetamol. You'll say, I've been diagnosed with fever, but I will take a painkiller. So you'll say, no, you have to take a paracetamol, right? Same way, when the parents are coming to school, they are bringing their children. Who is the ECCET expert? Who's the educator? The parent, child, or the school? Or you? Who?
The school. The teacher.
The teacher, right? Then why does the teacher take that thrown prescription at her? What the parents say? Why doesn't the teacher turn around and say, ma'am, I understand this thing. These are developmentally appropriate practices. Science says this. I am a specialist. I have done these courses. This is my background. I have studied this. I know what is the best for the child. And this is the best for the child. So why doesn't she say it in a specialist mode? Why does she agree to what the parent is saying?
Remember, there's a key here. That
tell me.
To be able to do this, maybe a doctor, like even doctors, why do we always use an analogy with doctors is because doctors are dealing with human beings and so are we.
Yeah, right.
Doctors are important. They cannot mess up anything that they do. Similarly, a teacher also cannot mess up anything she does.
Exactly, Himani.
But one thing that teachers should understand is that to be able to do this, you have to be confident and clear on what you are doing.
That was the first slides that I showed you. Those questions. If you know what you are doing, when you have to do that, how you have to do that, and why are you doing it, you can answer questions and you can be confident. But if you do not know these basics, but you know that I have this curriculum or I have this syllabus, or मुझे coordinator ने बोला है I have to finish this, ये इस हफ्ते में finish करना है, This report card I have to fill. Then I have to have a PTM where I have to listen to the parents. If this is the attitude, then nobody will listen to you. Then you will become a jhola chap doctor whom nobody goes to. And everybody rules him. So then it will become that nukkad mein jo dukaan khol ke baiठते हैं ना doctor वैसे वाला. And you will say, हाँ, right. So you will become that doctor. Decision is yours, completely yours. What do you want to become? It is your decision. You are a specialist early childhood educator. You're a jhola chap educator. That is your thing. So you will have to know all of this. Moving on with curriculum planning. So first, progressive continuum, remember? So you have to make a learning progression, which consists of milestones first. That is the children who are play school age or below that. From there, you have to identify the learning areas. Once you identify the learning areas, you have to identify the skills and concepts that come under each learning area. Okay. Once you do that, you make a yearly plan that for the entire year that the children are going to be with us, what are the learning outcomes that we are going to cover for the entire year under those learning areas and skills concepts. Okay. And then you will say that, okay, these are the activities and practices that will help me achieve those learning outcomes under those skills and concepts in that particular learning area. Are you understanding the steps?
Teachers, yes, no, maybe.
Yeah, or answer questions, please come here. You can ask the questions.
Yes, everybody's understanding it.
Clap for me. Okay. So these are the steps. The next step after that comes that, okay, activities and practices humne likh liya. How those activities should be conducted in the class depends on your pedagogy. Okay. That is your pedagogy. That is your teaching strategies. कि क्या हमने वो एक्टिविटीज कैसे करनी है, आउटडोर करनी है, इंडोर करनी है, 2 बोल्स में करनी है, 4 में करनी है, ग्रुप में बच्चों को डिवाइड करना है, नहीं करना है, पूरी क्लास को कराना है, whatever it is, that depends on your strategies. And then you will be observing them. Those are your assessments, not the assessments where the children are writing and you're evaluating. Today I'm not in a mood to write, you'll give me a 0, but I know everything. How will you take a test of a child who is so young? They might be performing, they might not be performing. And then you agreed that in any case, you're sending them to the next level. There's no point of doing that. This, just take a screenshot. I'm not going into this. It's going to take 1 hour to do this. So just take a screenshot, take out your mobiles, click a picture, keep it. This is what planning should be all about. The curriculum should have all of this, and then will come the planning. And the planning will be year plan, monthly plan, weekly plans, daily plans, and then lesson plans. Okay, these are the steps. When you keep breaking it further, but your bigger goal, your philosophy, your goal of education should be clearly defined. From there, you will come down to these steps. Okay. And what will your lesson plan consist of? So here you said yearly plan for the entire year. Then you break it down into months, like the themes. Then those themes will be into weeks. That, okay, if I'm doing animals for 3 weeks, like a month or 4 weeks, then per week, what am I going to do? Where do I begin from and where do I end it? So the beginning, middle, and end of the theme, that will be weekly plan. Then your daily plans will be your timed day plans. How many minutes do I give to each learning area? And then the lesson plans for a specific subject, for a specific concept, which has a specific learning outcome. But lesson plan में क्या-क्या चीजें होनी चाहिए? All these. Concept to be done, learning objective, how to achieve the learning objective, that is the activities and the provocation required for the same, materials and resources you will be using for that activity, detailed explanation of the implementation, then recapitulation for the children, and then observation indicators that if the child teacher is observing this, she will understand whether the children have got the concept or not. And children learn best when it's active versus passive. That means they are involved. It's interactive, not receptive, that the teacher is talking and the children are sitting. It is related to previous learning, like I told you for the animals. Experiences have to be a regular feature. For each theme, there has to be an experience, whether it's a field trip, it's an experiment, it's going out and exploring. Transmission of information through visual, hands-on learning. That once you've explained the concept, there should be an activity for the child to do and implement that learning. Then there has to be retention, memory of the imparted learning through will be through learning by doing after the learning is over in a spaced format. Aaj animal kiya in nursery, okay, suppose, and it's the month of August. Next year, August में junior KG में animals करेंगे. Very good. उसके बीच में हमने बहुत सारे themes कर लिए. And do you think the children will remember? So please, again, it has to be recapitulated with an activity or in a playway method. Knowledge, understanding, skills, and dispositions are very, very important for you to plan what you want to do with children. Okay, so these are the, again, picture. I'm not going into the depth of this. 1 hour for this. What is this happening? Chalo, jaldi se batao. Anyone who can talk.
If you want to raise your hand, I'll unmute you. Teachers, it's written on the screen. Free play. Okay, I have an answer. Free play. Motor skills. Enjoying dancing.
Okay.
Activities, learning by doing.
Okay, forget it. Which is your favorite song right now? Bollywood
song, yeah. So everybody can agree.
Bollywood song. Which is your favorite Bollywood song right now? Anything that you're singing? Watching.
Kesariya.
Very good. Next.
Nice.
Bus.
What else? Which song? Nacho. Okay.
अच्छा ठीक है. Oscar मिल गया उसको तो. ठीक है, सही है. Good.
अच्छा, ये गाना सोच के किसी ने थोड़ा सा मूवमेंट किया?
All right. So the thing is, music and movement is children will move to any song and any music that you play. Okay, they do not have these kind of favorites. They have favorites and rhymes which they will sing, which are easier to remember, which they remember the words for. Okay, so that they will keep singing. You will also sing the songs that are easier to remember. The difficult songs you will not sing. So easy songs are going to be music and movement. Art integration into curriculum is very important. Music builds right and left brain both. Music is right, words are left. So both the things are going to be hand in hand. Music and movements. Art and sensorial experiences, very important in your curriculum. When you're going to take your evaluations, I would prefer you do it in this manner. Rather than doing it on paper, pen and grading them. Play, extremely important. You have these children, look at these children playing. You can observe, grade them, evaluate them for any concept that you have done in school.
Rather, even for co-curriculum, ma'am.
Everything. You can do with play, you can actually evaluate them on anything and everything that you are doing. 21st century skills. Anybody heard of these? रुको. 21st century skills. किसी ने सुना है इसके बारे में?
Yes.
हाँ, yes सुना है.
हाँ, सुना है, सबने सुना है.
अच्छा, okay, fine, very good. किसी ने ये सुना है कि they're very important?
नहीं सुना? Yes.
हाँ, yes सुना है, बहुत important होते हैं. Can you tell me the 21st century skills quickly, जल्दी से.
एक सारे बोल दो जल्दी से. Creativity, collaboration. Collaboration. Creativity, collaboration. Critical thinking.
Very
Cognitive
good.
thinking.
Okay.
Critical thinking again. Communication.
Okay. ये पता है क्या होता है? These are 4 C's. 4 C's पता है सबको? जल्दी से बोलो. Yes. No. जल्दी से. Come on. You know 4 C's? 21st century skills के 4 C's?
Yes.
Creative thinking, collaboration, communication, right? Critical thinking. आ गया सबको. Everybody knows those as 21st century skills. चलो, अभी बिल्कुल. Open your eyes. Look at the screen. यहाँ वहाँ नहीं देखना, ठीक है? 21st century skills इतने सारे. 21st century skills, learning skills. Then there are literacy skills. Then there are life skills. Most of the educators know only the learning skills, क्योंकि हमको तो खाली learning से मतलब है, बाकी चाहे भाड़ में. बच्चा पढ़ ले बस किसी तरीके से. So learning skills we have focused on, and those are those 4 C's that you said. But literacy skills and life skills we often miss out on, which are very important. Otherwise, 21st century skills are not completed. Now, to put all of this in your curriculum, तुम लोग बोलोगे कि हमें तो बहुत मेहनत करनी पड़ेगी, and everything has to be revamped, and ये क्या है, we don't even understand this. So I'll ask Himani to keep another session for 21st century skills. इसमें 1.5 घंटा 2 घंटा अपने आप में जाने वाला है. So I'll not elaborate on that, but I'll tell you a method of incorporating 21st century skills in your curriculum very quickly. ये देखो, 21st century skills, the one that you were telling me about, all the 4 C's. Now, abhi I can't explain it to you, but you see communication is happening here, collaboration is happening here, creativity is happening here, critical thinking is happening here through play. If you do give them these blocks, and if there's a group of children who are playing, all the 4 C's are covered. And if you observe them, you will have your evaluation in place, whether the child is communicating, it is collaborating with other children, they're creatively making something, they're critically thinking, kaun sa block kiske saath lagega, which is going to fit where, and what am I going to use? Which is this skill? Pata hai 21st century skills mein? Life skills. This is flexibility and adaptability, initiative and self-direction. When a child waits for his turn at the bottom of the ladder, then they go up, and then they come down, and then they go again. Have you ever realized just with a slide how many skills are you building? They're waiting patiently. Okay. So there's self-regulation, there's self-direction, they take the initiative, there's flexibility, that okay, which child is going first, they're adapting to a situation, and their social skills are developing. Just with a slide. These skills. Again, life skills of leadership and responsibility. You leave them outdoor and you see how much they lead the other children in the peer group. You will have a natural leaders there. And they will have responsibility of them knowing what is harmful, what is safe, how to go about it. They'll never do something that's going to harm them. This?
With nature. Curiosity, discovery.
Curiosity, discovery, exploration, productivity. Don't do anything. Don't give them any instruction. Don't give them a lesson plan. Give them a magnifying glass. Leave them out in the nature. Just see what they do. Let them do, you observe. Let the children do more, you do less. Don't take that stress of कि सब कुछ हमें ही करना है. Children do it themselves. The social and cross-cultural interaction. Apni community में, wherever your school is, go and call other people and other children and other parents to your school for an art, this thing. Enjoyment, messy art. Chalo, we are giving you stuff. Everybody come over. See how the children are reacting to it. There are different people from different walks of life coming in. This is literacy and numeracy. Oh, now the educators will say, अब पता चला कि स्मृति मैम को तो कुछ भी नहीं आता है, तो parachute play है. She's saying it's literacy and numeracy. ऐसे थोड़ी होता है. You know, they're not writing ABCD, they're not writing numbers, and then you're still saying. You know, these are the basic skills. When you have, when a child is holding the parachute, they're using the 3 basic fingers, which are used for writing. And they are counting everything. You count how many circles have you taken, how many balls are there. You're doing everything that is required in literacy and numeracy, understanding and communication. This is what happening. Chalo, jaldi se answer. Now I'm not putting the answer. I'm bored.
What is happening in these pictures?
Literacy, numeracy, life skills, 21st century skills, play. Kuch bhi likho. Jo bhi hai. No right or wrong answers.
Fine motor.
Okay.
What else? What is thinking?
Okay.
Fine motor. Mental maths, computational, cognitive. Formations, thinking, creativity. Identify the color, logical thinking, creativity. Critical thinking, motor skills, HOTS. developing gross motor skills, innovations, eye-hand coordination, shape.
Answer is on the screen.
Answer is on the screen.
किसी से भी match नहीं करता मेरा answer.
Creativity, performance skills, literacy.
Literacy means what? Letters, na? Letters of the alphabet. Isn't the child understanding the formation of the letters? See.
Experiential learning, yes.
Look at the child making a capital and a small d side by side with blocks.
Oh, I'm sure a lot of them, ma'am, didn't see them as a capital D and a small d. How many of you agree with me? Even I didn't see the capital and the small d.
That is the fun. That is the fun. We don't see children for what they do. That is the fun. When you see the other one actually embossing that A in the clay, they understand it. When you tomorrow will show A, it will have a reflection on her that I had made this.
Rather than, so these activities can be used in nursery rather than getting them to write.
Exactly my point, Himani. That was what I was driving at when they were saying I was doing evaluation. These are all evaluations, darlings. If you give them this and you ask them to name the letters, or they ask the formation, or you're doing it, you can evaluate whether they know their letters or not. When they're making this, go to the child and simply softly ask them, sweetheart, what does D say? And if they say the letter sound, you can know that the child has associated the letter and the sound. Evaluation ho gaya na. Dictation dene ki kya zarurat hai?
Ma'am, could we go to the previous slide for a minute?
Yeah.
To the previous slide, ma'am, the slide before this.
Before this also?
Yeah.
All of these are evaluations. All of these are evaluations.
That's it. I think, ma'am, we can move ahead.
Yep. Okay. Similar to that literacy, this is numeracy.
How many fish?
When I give a fishing rod to a child and I say fish for number 4 in the fish, or take out 2 fishes and give me, then they'll take out 2 fish and give me. This jigsaw puzzle is, you know how much of IQ you require to do this? To put the pieces together? How many pieces in the puzzle? What goes together? What is the pattern of the pieces? Everything is numeracy. ये क्या है? अभी nobody will answer. पता नहीं स्मृति मैम के तो कुछ अजीब से आंसर्स होते हैं. We can't answer. ये लो. This is your literacy skills. Literacy skills in 21st century is not something that is just limited to what literacy I showed you before. That is English, letters, numbers, language. No. It also goes to information literacy. That is IMT. What is IMT? Information, media and technology. और उसमें बच्चे को क्या करना होता है? We are very confused ना टेक्नोलॉजी के लिए. Basically identify an information. Find an information. When you go tell the child, okay, go find this. It is like information finding. Later on, they'll use it for Google search to find information. Evaluate what you found. Now apply it. It can be concrete objects at the moment. But tomorrow I'll use it in my computer skills. Like this. Child-friendly gadgets you can be having. They can be doing painting on that. You can be reading on that. They can be seeing a picture on that. This is called financial literacy. Again, in 21st century skills, is very important. Play money, shopping, pretend play. They do not have to have real money, but they have to have an understanding of what is money. Civic literacy through play. Cleaning their own compound, knowing the basic traffic rules, parking rules, is all civic literacy. Now here, 2 big words. We all talk about it. Some words and terminologies, no, see, that's all educators, I'm telling you, we talk about it because they're in fashion. Some words ना बहुत in है आजकल तो हम बोलते हैं क्योंकि नहीं तो लोग सोचेंगे हम अच्छे एडुकेटर नहीं है अगर हम ये वर्ड्स जानते नहीं है तो. Please understand the meaning of it. When a child is building a high tower and puts the last block, the tower falls down and the child makes it again. That's resilience. Perseverance is when you're looking for something and you keep looking at it until and unless you find it. You are at it, you persist it. So please understand, when the children are doing activities and you give them opportunities to do all of these activities, you are building the 21st century skills. It cannot do it with a paper, pen and worksheet and book in hand. You will not be able to do it. And then you will say that we are doing our best, but the children are not learning or it's not happening. So don't fall into that trap. Skill building, focus. And these are some theme concepts where you can take a picture and you can study it later of how these are Google images. खुद search करोगे तो भी मिल जाएगा. ऐसा कुछ नहीं है जो मैं तुम्हें पता हूँ इसमें. I can't tell you anything here. But the only thing is, when we talk about themes, it should be integrated across all learning areas of early childhood education. In one way, if I don't learn, they'll give me multiple ways to learn. So if I'm learning about trees and I don't learn in your class, tell me to draw a tree, tell me to paint a tree, tell me to go to a tree and see, and let me feel it. There will be so many things that they can do. Tell me about the homes of the animals which are on the tree. Tell me the fruits, tell me the plants. I'll learn about trees, but give me multiple ways to learn about it. These are also a web chart. Look at this. Things fish do, they play with frogs and swim. These are answers by the children. If you ask them, again, don't give them the answers. This is my favorite quote, with which I will end today's session. And that is, one test of correctness of education procedure is the, I don't know, you will have to tell me. It is the happiness of the child.
Happiness of the child. Somebody wrote it.
Yes, absolutely. That is what it is. Now I will stop sharing because I am done. You people have to start. I am done.
If anybody has any questions, any doubts, this is the right time. Now we'll take up all the queries. Super ideas. Thank you so much, Ani ma'am. A lot of ideas. A lot of thank yous. Any questions you have, any queries you have, for all my viewers who are connected via Zoom or on YouTube, I'm sharing the feedback link. Kindly click on that feedback link to share the feedback. Once you give us the feedback, you automatically get your certificate for the session as well.
And if you have any questions, even after you have gone home and you've ended the session, please connect with Himani and she can get back to me with your questions, and I'll definitely make sure that I answer each and every one of you. So once whatever you've learned today and tomorrow you go into your school and you implement it, and then you face a difficulty and you say that, Pradhima, this is not happening, then we are there for you. Remember, the Foundations is a mentoring program. It's not a one-time thing. We are there for you. So
it's a community we built only for you. That's the sole objective of Foundations, to handhold every early childhood educator through NCF, through implementation of NCF. And should you have any question, if you're not a part of the Foundations yet, kindly let me know. You can drop me a message. I'll share my number on the chat box, or you can connect with your friends who already are, and you can join us here. Any questions you have, please put it on the chat box in the group, in the community, and trust me, we'll take it to Smriti ma'am. We'll get it answered. That's our responsibility. We'll make sure your questions are answered. Ma'am, there's a question, parents for expecting a lot of writing part.
Yeah, like I told you, you are the specialist. You will have to tell the parents that you are the specialist. And what do I do? Do I have 2 more minutes, Himani?
Yes, ma'am, just 2 minutes.
just 2 minutes भी ना बहुत ज्यादा ही लग रहे हैं मुझे अभी, लेकिन still 1 second, I'll just share something with you. हाँ, अगर आप लोगों को ये है कि what is the problem that is happening with parents ना, wait.
Okay, in the meanwhile, if anybody else has any other questions,
any other questions, please go ahead. Hurry up.
You can ask. I have just shared my contact number and I'm looking for the link so that I can share that as well with you.
Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes, ma'am. A lot of small icons. It's a folder. We can see the folder. Yeah.
Yeah, you can see the folders now. And you can see there are so many documents. You know what are these?
Yes, no.
No. So for all educators, these are all the documents which have milestones and learning outcomes. And they're all from different countries.
Wow.
So they're like Pennsylvania is there. See, our National Council of Education Research, NCRT is there, NCF is there, KICD is there. There is a lot of things. Head Start is there, Virginia is there, Singapore is there, Australia is there. All these are things that you should keep handy with yourself. Please, they are downloadable. They are available on the net. No, it's not necessary that somebody will give it to you. You can just go search for them, download them, keep it with you, and show it to those parents who say this has to be done, that has to be done. Tell them, ma'am, वैसे तो हम America से बहुत inspired है, and we send our children for higher studies. Look at what they say for the early years. दिखा दो. Show them the learning outcomes. Show them what the practices they are doing.
And
Finnish
Smriti, ma'am, if I may
education,
add-
फिनलैंड जाएंगे. फिनिश एजुकेशन बहुत अच्छा होता है. यूके भेजेंगे, यूएस भेजेंगे बच्चों को, कनाडा भेजेंगे फॉर हायर स्टडीज. व्हाट अबाउट द यंगेस्ट वंस? उनको कुछ नहीं करना, उनको राइटिंग कराओ.
Smriti ma'am, if I may add something here, I also feel that, sometimes why parents rely so much on writing practices when they don't see their child coming and interacting that much. But when the classroom is very interactive, the child automatically goes home and he's talking and he's sharing something new. So then the parent feels कि कुछ हुआ था. Otherwise, जब बच्चा कुछ बोलता ही नहीं, they're just dependent on the writing that has been done to see कि आज स्कूल में ये हुआ था.
Yeah, so the dependency is on how many pages of books have they filled in to understand that study is happening or learning is happening. But once you people are going to show them the learning outcomes that you have in school and what the child is learning, and if you have a happiness of the child as a center of your curriculum, then the child is going to learn, is going to talk about it. Suppose you've given them one particular fact today about an elephant and they go home and say it, their parents will be impressed. Ari, how do you know it? Even I don't know this about the elephant, right? So the thing is that how engaging your classrooms are, what are they going home and delivering is all dependent on what kind of curriculum you're following. And that's why I said all these play engaging activities and all these learning outcomes and milestones are going to help you as an educator. First, be a specialist so that nobody can throw that prescription on your face. Okay.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am, for all answering everything. And yes, an amazing session on this. I can see so many thank yous and so many, congratulations on such a good session. And we look forward to some more of them. I have written down lesson planning and 21st century skills. Teachers, I'll make sure we get
write down play, write down the kinds of play, what do they do for the children, 21st century skills, write down the lesson planning for them, write down about the competencies, goals, competencies and learning outcomes. These are the things that I could not touch upon because in this short time, because see, curriculum is vast. That's what I was saying. All the people who feel that preschool is kya hai, time pass hai, alphabet numbers and nahi hai. You people make them feel like that because you're doing only that. There's so much more to do. Do those, build the brains, build the community, build the nation. These are the foundation years. If the child is happy in school right now, they will be happy learning throughout their life. But if right now they're put off, then they do not learn. And then they are always a nuisance for the community and the school and the entire nation. So the thing is, love for learning is very important. And that can be instilled now in the early years. Or the fear of learning can also be instilled now. What are you doing? What are you going with? So think about all of that. I have been an early childhood educator since past 30 years, 3 decades. Okay. And I've seen it all. So don't think I'm sitting here and giving you gyan. I started my journey as an assistant teacher, to a teacher, to a class representative, to a coordinator, to a school head, to a parent mentor and a teacher mentor. And after that, now curriculum curator, designer, pedagogy expert, all of that. Long journey. You will also have to do this long journey. Don't stop. I'm a teacher. मैं कर ही क्या सकती हूँ? मुझे तो जो बोले coordinator बोले कि मैं कर दूंगी और क्या करूँ मैं? No, doesn't help like that. If I would have thought like that, I would have been a teacher only right now. Attending a session with you people, not taking one. learn, grow, research. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you to all the educators who stayed connected with us all this while. Should you have any other question throughout these, through the days when we are not doing a session, just feel free to drop it on the chat box. I have given my number on the chat box here as well as on YouTube. Just leave us a message on WhatsApp. We'll connect you to the group and you'll be connected with us forever. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Have a good evening and a great weekend ahead. If anybody is in any case has not got the link, I'm still here for another minute. I'm sharing the link on the chat box once again. Yes, Chuma ma'am. I'll just allow everybody to unmute just in case anybody wants to unmute and answer. Okay, Chuma ma'am is not able to listen to me.